Earlier this year, I went on a concert tour to Asia that included a visit to Vietnam. I had been in Vietnam several times before, and I was always moved by the warmth and the friendliness of the Vietnamese people. This time I was able to spend a whole week in Ho Chi Minh City, and I was overwhelmed by the sincerity and the warmth and the hospitality of the Vietnamese. I wanted to include this piece in my film as a gesture of gratitude to Vietnam for the wonderful days I spent there, and also my tribute to the Vietnamese people to hope for a more cooperative future and a new beginning. I set sail on a beautiful ship called the Pacific Venus from Yokohama, Japan, and after 7 days at sea we finally reached the shores of Vietnam and entered the Mekong River on our way to Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon. It was early February and the time of Vietnamese New Year, and almost everyone seemed to be out on the streets. Thousands of families with all their children drove around all evening on their motorbikes, and many balloons went up in the air. In the parks, parents took photos with their children that were very nicely dressed. And the exuberant spirit of celebration and the warm smiles and goodwill of the Vietnamese people touched everyone. My bear backpack connected with many of the children, and the families then invited me to take group photos with them. The next day, I visited the Buddhist temples. First was the famous Tien Han Pagoda, which is known to most tourists. Later that day, I discovered a small temple in a side street. I was the only visitor, and inside there was a deep silence. When I played my wooden flutes, the music seemed to flow naturally out of the silence. The next day, when I came back, there was a monk there chanting with a wood block and the Tibetan bowl. He came over to me and we communicated with just a few words. I played for him, and then suddenly he went to the back of the altar and brought me some wonderful gifts.
Oh, beautiful.
For you.
Oh, for me.
For you.
Thank you so much.
Orange.
Yes.
I don't name is
What is this name? Mango?
mango.
Mango. That's my favorite fruit.
Oh.
Two people from different cultures had become friends, with hardly any words. That night, I went to a show of local Vietnamese music. The energy, the passion and enthusiasm of these musicians ignited everyone. On my last day in Vietnam, I received an invitation from the Conservatory of Music. I was to teach a class for the woodwind players. And it became a true cross-cultural and very joyful meeting. And the bassoon player, who had never before played the blues, learned how to play a bass line.
Now you could play those. That's good.
We said goodbye, and then we took one last photo.
1, 2.
Before taking off to the airport on my last day, I still had time to visit some stores and connect with the wonderful Vietnamese people.
You can hold him. Yeah.
And to have lunch with my newly found friend, the beautiful flute professor Ha. She summed up so well how I feel about music, being a bridge between people and all life.
Music can actually bring people together from the most different kind of cultures and unite us instead of separating us, right?
Music can make people in peace.
Yes, great.
Peace and harmony.
Thank you, Vietnam.